It is my pleasure to introduce Andrée Jetté. Andrée is president of Vision 360, also a well-known author and bilingual keynote speaker for over 30 years. Andrée has inspired thousands of people with her funny, dynamic, and intelligent style. Well known to the public, she has been invited to several radio and TV shows. She has written for other keynote speakers, helped them quick start their career, and is the mentor of young keynote speakers. Andrée offers practical and concrete tools to improve our daily lives and has a more balanced lifestyle, which allows us to easily shift to new paradigms. Bienvenue, Andrée.
Oui, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much for attending this session. This is going to be a mini talk on a huge, big subject. We call that stress management with humor. So, you know, there's a difference between good stress and bad stress. Most people say stress is bad. No, there's such thing as good stress. We need a little bit of stress. We need a little bit of adrenaline in the body. It allows you to get up in the morning, to get going, to focus. But the problem is when we have brain injury, or maybe like all of us with COVID. I'm not going to focus on COVID, don't worry. What's been happening is if you have a little bit of stress hormone in the body, a little bit of adrenaline during the day, you peak at a certain time. If you know what to do, at the end of the day, you'll take it down, right? We need tools to do that. What's been happening is we have been going through too many changes too quickly. So what's been happening is you have stress hormone in the body, but we kept it up. Same thing when we have an accident or brain injury. We keep the level of stress really high. We are hyper vigilant constantly. That turns into what we call that cortisol. Cortisol is what I name bad stress. Why? Because, you know, let me just give you a few examples. If you have a lot of cortisol, at the end of the day, you're so tired. You're like, oh my God, I'm dead. I just need to go to bed. But you go to bed with a nervous system that's like raging with cortisol, right? So you go to bed thinking, I need to get ahead of my schedule. I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to rest. You in bed, you get to bed, you're like this. You're just watching the ceiling and you go like, oh, but I've got to sleep. And as you're saying, you've got to sleep, what do you think is going to happen is you keep that cortisol level high. You can't sleep. So during the day, we use our adrenaline, cortisol. But if you go to bed with a lot of cortisol in the brain and the body, what's going to happen is you start thinking because you're not physically moving, using it. So you start thinking about all sorts of stuff, you know, and it's like women, we think about the kids and tomorrow, and we need to multitask and get ahead of our schedule and what should I wear? And of course, your husband is sleeping, right? The guy is snoring. He is an irritant in your life, right? So turn and turn and turn, and finally you get to sleep. You're so tired, and 3 hours later, you're already awake. So you wake up in the morning, you're lying in bed, and the brain, the neural pathways, it's all about multitasking. And you're in bed, you're already working in your mind, but the mind is virtual, right? So you're in bed, but your mind is working. The body thinks you're working. You're producing more stress hormone. So you're working, but you're not being paid for all the extra time you're working, lying in bed. So we get up, and then you are on your phone. So have you seen the people right now? They're so addicted to their phone. They're actually smelling Pixel all day long. They're like snorting Pixel all day long. So it's like you are on your phone, you're trying to eat your food, and you say, let's do a little laundry, and you're trying to talk to your kids. And as you're talking to your kids, you're not really present because you're multitasking. Do you know that it takes 42% more time to complete task when you multitask, because the brain has to move back and forth constantly instead of doing one task and try to complete it, so we multitask. So you're talking to your kids as you're eating, you're not tasting your food, and you're not actually really connecting with your children. So there's no emotional food, there's no food, and you're already starting the laundry, and you get the food out because, for dinner, and you try to breathe, and you're breathing like this. We're breathing like, So I don't know if you're aware, but the astronaut, the pilots, they are the best at dealing with stress, at managing stress, because they know how to breathe. So at the end of the session, I'll give you a little trick to how to teach your body and teach your brain how to breathe deeply so the stress hormone goes down. There's many ways to take the stress down, but I'll share a few tools. So it's the morning, you go and you do your stuff, you get to work, and you think, when is that craziness gonna stop? And then we had COVID on top of that. And maybe you go to work and your boss says, well, we're gonna go through more changes. And your mind goes, I can't. Well, that reaction of I can't is totally, totally legitimate. It's a normal reaction. How can you deal with more change when you don't even have enough energy to just get up of your bed properly in the morning and go do your basic stuff? So the first thing we do is the attitude is we start resisting change. And as you resist, you create stress, and whatever you resist persist. But whatever you're good with, whatever you embrace gets erased. So it's about not resisting change or stress. It's really owning and embracing and being good with it. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to use our five senses. We're going to use one of your five senses, if you want to take down the level of stress that we feel every day. Your five senses are your best friends to deal with stress. Do you know that eating is the fastest way to relax? Now, it produces what we call endorphins, serotonins. Now, endorphins is great, and serotonin, allows you to not be so depressed when we go through too many changes too quickly. So we love that good stuff. It's like free drugs in our body. So it's the opposite of cortisol. It's the opposite of, stress hormone, the adrenaline. So we need to shift. We need to train the brain to prove it exists, and the body to prove and feel alive, not constantly by having that tense emotion, but to relax into a new state of being. So let me give you an example. Have you ever been in your car and there's a great song, and suddenly you're driving your car, but you're not really aware that you're driving because the focus shift to that great song, and maybe the song reminded you of a vacation, and you just like want to move? Well, you just created a new state. It's called analogical state of mind. Analogical means suddenly you are focused on something fun that you love to do, or a song that you love. Or maybe you watch Netflix and you are so into the movie that suddenly there's no space. You don't even remember you are in your room. There's no space. You are one with the movie, and there's no time. You look at the clock and you go like, oh my God, I need to go to bed. It's late, because you lost touch of time and space. There's no time, there's no space. You are a state of being analogical. You are one with it. That's what we want to learn today. How do I get analogical? Because we're not analogical. You and I, we are in a binary state of mind. You're driving your car, there's a great song, but the mind starts thinking about the future, like tonight and dinner and tomorrow and a meeting, and I'm stressed. And oh, this girl at the office, she said that. And I should have said that back. She always say things like this, and I don't even like that girl. Well, as you're stressing yourself thinking about that girl, well, the other girl is having a great time. She doesn't even know that, you're having a bad time. So you could be in a car with a great song. You could be with Netflix watching a great movie, but you start thinking about the future. Watch my hand. As you're moving away from now, no time, no space, fun, energy, as you're moving forward in the future, you create stress hormone. Stress is the gap between the now and the future. Now, people that always go to the past and talk about the past all the time, they get depressed because even though it's gone, the past is gone, the mind reminds itself of what happened. It wants that emotion constantly. It's like a drug. We are addicted to those emotions. So how do I unplug myself from that needle called stress and prove and feel I exist in a state of great space? So your eyes, watching movie, being one, car, music, food. But you have to be careful with food, because if that's the only sense you use while you're stressed, well, you're gonna get fat. So thank God we have 5 senses, right? We can expand our way of producing fun hormones and endorphins and serotonin and dopamine, all that great stuff. So maybe some of you love to cook and have people over. Great dinner, having fun, having a conversation. And suddenly you look at the clock and you go like, oh my God, we've been talking for 3 hours, 4 hours. I lost track of time because it was so much fun. You were one with the conversation. You were one with the people. So there was actually an emotional food there, not just like the physical food. Some of you, it's you, like I said, you hear like music, or maybe silence. You don't want any noise. You don't want any music. You don't want any kids. You just want to sit and be quiet. So I will show you how to produce what I call the 1 minute meditation. I will teach you to meditate 1 minute a day. Because if I tell you that you need to meditate for 15 minutes, your brain will go like, I can't do it. I could not do it either when I started. So it's a little step, progressive. So some of you, it's actually smell. You need to go outside and it smells fantastic, and maybe you have a fireplace and there's some wood, and it just makes you feel so relaxed. And it's the fall and you're having some soup, and it just creates a mood. Well, you're producing fun hormones. You're producing some nice endorphins right there. It's actually self-love, self-care. And some of you, you're more like kinesthetic. So kinesthetic is touching, having a nice hot bath with some bubble bath, going outside, exercise, taking a walk, getting a massage. Well, not with COVID. Well, maybe you can, if someone at your home can give you a massage, which would be nice. But it's everything to do with touch, a sense of touch. So it's all good. It's 5 senses. Now, think about it. You know, when you get up and suddenly, yeah, there's so many changes in your life, and we start resisting change. I said to you, it's difficult to embrace change. Well, the reason is when you have a lot of change, it demands to see things differently. It demands that you change the way you deal with your life or the way you structure your day. Or maybe the mind needs to create new solution. You see, the problem right now is we have a lot of new problem, and people try to apply old solution to new problem. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But we have ways to create solution, right? So, but it demands energies. How can you deal with more change when at 9 o'clock in the morning, there's no more energy? Well, like I said, it's about self-care. But what did we learn all our life? We learned that it's good to give to other people. And I agree with that. It's good to give to other people. You need to give back to yourself. But we are trained, there's neural pathways where we feel terribly guilty if we take care of ourselves. So let me give you an example. You're having a nice hot bath. You had your list all day, because some of you have your list, right? You need to check your list. You know, during the day we go like, check, check, this is done, this is done. We check our list, right? Oh, and sometimes you do something that was not on your list. We're so crazy. What we do is, if it was not on your list, you actually take your pen, you write it on your list, then you check it. Even though we write it after we've done it. It's just, that's just a neural pathways, those little neuron connecting, right? So anyway, let me go back to my example. You're having a nice hot bath, trying to breathe, and then your checklist appears in your mind and the guilt comes in, and you have like a little voice, and the voice says, get out of the bathtub. And the voice says, it's very loud, you didn't check everything on your list. And because the mind, your mind loves to make sure everything is checked, you know, it goes on. It's like a loop. And you talk to yourself. You say, no, I can take a break. I have to take a break. But we're so trained not to. So the voice gets louder. The voice says, no, your mother never took a break. Your grandmother never took a break. Get out of the bathtub. So most of the time we get out of the bathtub, right? Well, it's different for men. Men don't have a guilty voice. They don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Once I had a guy, he said, I think I have a voice, a guilty voice. I said, yes. He said, oh, he says, I get it. He says, it's my wife's voice. Yeah, I hear her complaining. So we don't want to do that. Do you know those people that complain and bitch and complain all day? They have the switch always. I call it the bitch switch. You know, they complain all day long. They have the switch on. So we have to also deal with these people. So 5 senses, 5 road to a better time, happiness, more serotonin, way back to self-care without feeling guilty. How do we do that? Well, before I show you how the brain works a bit, I want you to know that we are in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. We have a lot of compassion for other people, right? Why don't we stop for a minute and be compassionate towards ourselves? You know, it's a great feeling to be able to stop and say, I'm having a difficult day and I'm okay with it. I have compassion towards the part of me and my brain, but my whole body maybe, that feels that way. To actually be, in French we say accueillir, to be able to to receive our pain and not be so much in a place of judgment. The emotion we feel, emotion is good. Emotion is the way that we prove we're alive. Good emotion, bad emotion. The problem is the judgment we have. By holding a judgment on those emotions, by resisting feeling it, what's happening is by resisting, we are keeping those emotions alive for a long time. Being okay that we are human being okay with the fact that we have good days, we have bad days. People say to me, but Andrée, I need to be resilient. Yeah, well, what is it to be resilient? To me, I think we all have our own explanation of being resilient, but to me, being resilient is the fact that I know that we have good days and bad days. Life is good, life is not so good. The fact that we have contrast, I'm okay with it. It's not about constantly having no stress. It's the balance, it's the equilibrium, right? And for me, resilience is those people that learned to refocus quickly, to not focus so much on the bad, because we know it's there, but to know that in life, there's also a zillions of things that are so amazing. So the question is, how do we shift our focus quickly? So let me tell you this quickly. I guess I'm using the word quickly a lot. So I'm in your car, or you're in my car. I have loud music, just want to dance. Music comes out of the speakers, right, in your car, it hits the eardrum, and it creates electricity. Music is a frequency, therefore it has information, right? Eardrums, electricity in the brain, neurons are connecting quickly, and then it forms a neural net, and then the brain goes, whoa, I know that song. Oh my God, she loves that song. He loves that song. And the brain is really excited and it sends a signal to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is like a bar with some drugs, and it puts all the dopamine and the serotonin in the blender. It goes, brings that back to the brain, and it's called a signature. And the signature is when I hear that song, my God, a person loves it. It's happy. The signature is happy song. But if it's a happy song does not stay in your brain, right? It goes in the body. We have cells. We have, I think it's 13 million cells a second that dies in the body. Oh my God. All those cells that poof, dying. We have new cells, right? So those new cells, they're not stressed. Those new cells are not upset. Those new cells are not hurt. Those new cells are just looking at you saying, I'm new in the body. I need to get some signature. I need to feel something for you to prove you exist. So it's like it's looking at your focus. So you're focused on a great song. You're having the signature, and the body, those cells are receiving the signatures. The cells are so happy and they're talking to each other and they're going like, whoa, he's having a good time for a few minutes. She's having a good time. But the magic is if you keep your focus on that song and you expand what's good and that great feeling, the cells that talk to each other will start producing a code. They start producing and receiving the signature, and they have receptor site, and they're receiving the signature with those little sites. And when you have enough cells with those receptor site of I'm happy, feel good, you know what happens? They start tricking your body and your mind. They go behind your back and they say, Okay. She is focusing on something good, analogically one with it. So let's turn off all the receptor side for I'm having a bad day, this is a bad day. Let's turn it off for her, for him, because she's making an effort, he's making an effort. So as the body start looking at your effort, the body says, let's help. So start turning off those receptor side. So after the song, maybe you start thinking about something bad because you train your mind to do that. But you'll think it, but you will not receive it at the body level and you will not feel it. It's going to go like this. You're going to have the signature and it's going to go out. It's going to be eject out of your body. So after a while, the brain says, he's not feeding me. She's not feeding me all that stuff, that bad stuff. So the neural pathways, they're going like, boop, 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 they take a distance. And you slowly, progressively, there's no rush, starting to feel more alive. When you're more calm and you have more fun, you have more connection. Suddenly, just like the day change. Now, the day did not change. The day is the day, but the way you perceive things change. Because if you have a lot of stress, it's like seeing life through a filter, right? Where everything is so difficult. But if you relax, then you start seeing life through a different, we take that filter and we move into a different perspective. That's powerful. You know, it's power. The power is not into changing situation or changing the people around you. We've all tried that. It's just not working. So if we change our inner self, if we care enough to say, I'm going to take a few minutes a day and use one of my 5 senses and self-care, then you're on a good road, right? You're on the right path. Now, you're going to say, okay, but how do I try to maintain that state? Very good question. And how do I make sure I'm focusing on the right thing? So I want you to touch on the right side, right here. I'm going to give you a eject button. You're going to have an eject button. So when you start feeling uncomfortable or stressed, I want you to breathe. And this is the eject button. So I want you to touch for a second on your right side and visualize. I think you can do that for just a second, or just write the word eject. E-J-E-C-T, E-J-E-C-T, E-J-E-C-T. Okay, eject, eject, eject. This is your eject button. Well, this is a silent button. We don't speak it loud. You don't look at people that bothers you and go, eject, eject, eject. You know, eject for the entire week. No, we don't say it out loud. It has nothing to do with ejecting other people or ejecting the situation. It's about ejecting the way we're going to react to that person, right? So let's say someone comes and they go like this. They go, oh, it's such a bad day. No fun. Blah, 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 blah. Just smile. Be compassionate, just understand, but you don't want to be analogical with their state of being. That's their perception. That's their right. We need to allow them. Allow. But you don't want to wake up the neural pathways of, oh yeah, you're right. Because when we do that, it takes just a few seconds, the mind will connect to the other person's mind. It's called frequency specific. Suddenly you tune yourself, and it won't be long that you'll start complaining just like the other person, right? So self-care, self-love is, you go like this. You go like, oh my God, I understand you're having such a bad day. But as you're touching here, the mind knows that you are ejecting, 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 ejecting. You don't want to go to that space, right? Eject is not mean. Other people won't know what you're doing. You're just telling your brain, I know that path. I know how to get stressed. I know how to complain. I have proven I could complain and be stressed all my life. I'm changing. I want something different. I have nothing to lose here. So I'm just gonna listen, be compassionate, do not be analogical. Don't become one with it. That's the time where you want to be binary. You want to be as far away as possible, far away, so far away. I disappear, so far away. So eject is also when you watch the news. Watch the news. I don't care. You can watch the news, but when you start feeling uncomfortable, stress about it, oh my God, it's never gonna end. Eject, 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 eject. Eject the news, eject the news. When people start, talking about it, eject. You allow, but don't go there. Or your own thinking process. You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, it's going to be a long day. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm already tired. Oh my God, it's never going to change. When you go there, you don't want to go for a long day. You know long day. The brain knows long day. It's going to be a long day. The brain says, oh, I know what long day is. So it goes in the bank, it goes to the past, it creates the emotion of the long day, all the hormones of a long day. And all day, you're going to focus on everything that makes you prove that you are right, that you said it was going to be a long day. And at the end of the day, you say, oh my God, it was such a long day. I have a lot of intuition. Well, that's not intuition. It's a program. It's just you woke up that program in the morning. Fine, fine. I'm fine if you want to keep on going on a long day. But when I hear myself in the morning going like, oh, I go like, hey, Andrée, eject. Sometimes you have good days. Why don't we go for a good day? Okay, what do we want to create today? Okay, today I have a session with Michelle and Rachel and all the people from Brain Injury. Okay, what do I want to create? So instead of being in a reactive mode, reacting to it, I choose to be in a creating mode. I create my day. I say, today, I want to have a great time. I want all that technology to work well. I want to focus on helping people and loving them and caring for them, and that they can feel it while I talk to them. So I plan my day. Instead of making a list of things to do, I create a state of being, not a state of doing. I'm not a human doing. I'm a human being. I'm a human being. When my mom passed and we went to the funerals, people never talk about her as a human doing. They didn't say, oh, she was doing this, she was doing that. They said, your mom was so funny while she was giving us classes, painting classes. We laughed so much. We're going to miss the fact that she was just so funny. So people always remember who we are, not what we did. So who are you? Who do you want to be? So create your day based on, I want to have fun at work. I want to connect with my family. So that's the main thing. So I want to give you another button, a last one. So everybody touch on this side. So it's for all of those that wants to create a better day. So on the left side, that's your heart. It's a button and the word is record. I record the good time, or record. I'm recording what's happening now. record, record, record. You stretch the good time and you eject, things that are bothering you. You're refocusing on your mind, right? Being resilient, refocusing. So let me give you an example. When someone says, oh, I just love what you wear. This is a wonderful color on you. Oh, this jacket is fantastic. I love it. Please don't say, oh my God, it's so old. Oh, I didn't pay much money for that. It's really old. Don't you think I look fat? When someone stops their crazy life, and they pay attention to you, they come to you and they become analogical and they say, I love what you wear. Please, in your mind, go record and say to the person, thank you. And record means someone stopped their life, someone paid attention to me, they care for me. So I want to train my mind to feel I exist with a great feeling of appreciation. And in the beginning, those neurons, they're not really strong at connecting at, I feel appreciated. So it's training. So when you have a great dinner with friends and someone says, oh, let me take you out, I'll go pay for dessert. Record. Don't say, well, he's only paying for dessert. He should have paid for the whole meal. No, don't focus on what's not working. Focus on the fact that someone they're taking you out. They're going to pay for dessert, a coffee. Record. I love when people take care of me. I love when people are spending a little time and energy and money on me. Record. When someone at work or at home says, you made a lot of progress today. That's fantastic. Record. It's a beautiful sunny day. You go out, breathe, record. So, record all the good stuff. Eject stuff that's bothering you. And just allow your life to unfold with a different focus, different perception. So, I don't have much time left. I don't want to stress. So, breathing. Remember in the beginning, I said the astronaut, they know how to breathe. This is the trick. Breathing to the count of 3, but breathing out to the count of 5. I know people will say, breathe in to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 4. No, because then it becomes automatic and you start thinking about dinner and multitasking. But if you do 3 and 5, you trick your mind. So as you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, you breathe out, you extend it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you breathe in, if you can, after practicing 3 and 5, you can make a little pause between inhaling and exhaling, and you can put a word like calm. I am calm. So breathe in, 2, 3, I am calm. Record. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is difficult a bit in the beginning, but after a while, your parasympathetic nervous system is learning to, as you're breathing, to relax. I will advise you to drink a lot of water and put a little lemon. Do you know why? Because after a few seconds, the lemon is acid, but once in the body, it becomes alkaline, and it helps for the equilibrium of the cells in the body. I'm not saying it. The scientists are saying this. And I want you to do the 1 minute meditation. Haha. Okay, let's trick our brain again. Tonight, I want you to find a little corner in your house where it's very quiet. Take a candle. Take your phone, put 1 minute on your phone. And I want you to learn to be analogical. So you look at the candle, you know the flame, there's a little black spot there. So I want you for 1 minute to look at the black spot. Just that, look at the black spot. And you cannot stop your mind. The monkey mind is there to make you think about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And did I go to the bank? It's normal. But as you look at the black spot, I want you again to see the word compassion. I have compassion for myself. See the word compassion over the flame. And after a minute, I want you to stop. You might be successful. You might not be successful. I don't care. You've done it. It's perfect. It's 1 minute is better than nothing. The following day, I want you to do 2 minutes. You put 2 minutes on your phone. You put I know it's short, but it's okay. It's worth doing it. And the mind is progressive, right? So you put your flame, your candle with a flame, and choose another word if you want to create peace. See the word peace. And as you're breathing, you do 2 minutes. And you know what? Maybe the following day, you'll do just 2 minutes again. Maybe after a week, the mind will say, I want to do 3 minutes. It's same thing with if you're not trained to go outside and walk. Go walk just for a minute. Put your phone 1 minute, walk out, go to the end of the driveway, come back. Just 1 minute. But if you do it, you are being resilient. To me, record. And whatever good will come to you in the next few days, minute, please record everything that's good. Change your focus. And also allow other people to go through whatever they need to go through. Don't try to change them. Refocus on yourself. We all have purpose in this life. We all have talents and abilities that we need to develop and create. I want you to take your power back. I want you to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to create my day. Who am I today? Today I am the generous one. Today I am the funny one. Today I am the caring. And it's not what you do during the day. It's not the doing. It's who you are while you're doing it, while you're cooking your food, while you're having dinner. Who are you? Are you the one that's present? Are you the one that's recording? And please use the eject button as much as you need to. Sometimes I do it 15 times a day. It's just a difficult day. Just eject. So it's time. It's time for question and answer. So I hope I taught you a lot of mini tools and stuff within a short time, but I want to thank you all for attending and listening to this. And I hope I put a little smile on your face. So Michelle, you're back.
Yes, I'm back. Thank you so much, Andrée. That was, I love your passion and your energy. And I think I need to utilize my eject button a little more often. I might get confused with the which side is record and eject, but you know, you provided a lot of information, and for me, sometimes I need the top three. What are the top three things that I can do to, you know, create well-being? So when I leave this symposium today, I can walk away. What are the things that I can do right away to ensure my, you know, better mental health and well-being?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. So I split my day in 3 categories. I have my work compartments, and at the end of the day, when I I'm finished with work, I really close that compartment. Most people don't. They stretch work at home, and while they're at home, they feel guilty because they're not working. And when they work, they feel guilty they're not with the kids. So it's about having different compartments. So work is work, be analogical, be there 100%. But when it's finished, you need to close it. When I go home to, well, my son is 41 now, but when I was a mom, I would go home and I would think, what is it for me? What is it to be a good mom? The question was, okay, I want to cook, I want to be with my son, I want to be analogical. So I was with my family. But the trick is, you need to have a third compartment. Most people, we have work, home, work, home, work, home, work, homework, homework. Remember homework at school? Homework. That's so depressing. So you need a space that has nothing to do with home and work, has to do with one of your five senses. So what I will do is I would probably go home and have a cup of tea. I love tea. So I would have a cup of tea, and sugar, white sugar, it's really, really, really bad for me. So I'm going to put 2 sugar because I love it. Makes me feel good. And I have a little milk, and I'm just going to sit, and I'm going to go back to my day. I'm going to react to it. And instead of being in a reactive mode, like, rah, 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 I'm just going to say what else I can do that's better would be better for tomorrow. So that's one thing, is to, what would be the word in English? I'm trying to see where you think and you refocus on your day, and anyway, you know what I'm talking about. You rethink about the day where things could have been better. And then, I would tell my kids, tell me about your day. What did you like about the day? What didn't you like about the day? Just allow them to freely express with no judgment. Just allow. But after 10 minutes, you say, time out. Okay, it's time to be a family. It's time to have fun. It's time to eat and refocus. So it's not about denying how you feel, but it's about expressing it, allowing it, and ejecting it and refocusing. And breathing, like I said, people don't have enough water. I mean, I know it's just a simple thing, but you need to drink way more. You need to put lemon, and it's just a simple thing, but people don't understand that it's the main thing for the body. I mean, people say, well, I drink a lot of coffee. And I say, oh yeah, well, do you wash your clothes with coffee and tea when you do your laundry? You don't. You use water, right? The body needs the toxin, the physical toxin, because sometimes people get depressed, but it's not an emotional depression. It's just a chemical thing, right? So help yourself. Go outside. You need vitamin D3. We need to go outside when it's sunny. You need to exercise. You need to have fun. The main thing, Michelle, is ask yourself the question. The question is, okay, I've been a good mom. I've been good at work. I've been giving all day. What would make me happy? What would make me happy? Which one of the five senses can I use? And because when you make yourself happy, you create fun hormones in the body. It's the first step towards wellness without feeling guilty. If you start feeling guilty, you have that little glass of wine. If you start feeling guilty, you go eject. Because if you feel guilty and you start drinking a glass of wine and you don't deal with the guilt, you'll have 2 glasses, 3 glasses, 4 glasses. Because if you deny your emotion, the body will want to compensate. And if you compensate, then you're on Amazon buying stuff. You're not going to eat a piece of cake. You'll eat the entire cake. Because the mind says, I'm stressed, go eat something, and you eat salty food because you're losing minerals when you have too much stress. Or you eat chocolate because you need endorphins. Or you eat salt and sweet food at the same time. Well, that means you're not doing very good if you're doing both. But food is fantastic, but be careful with stress, because if you don't deal with stress, you'll compensate.
Okay, great. So we've got a question here. So thank you for all your useful information. I'm just wondering if you have any useful tips or tricks for ways to quickly decompress, relax while in the workplace. I work in an emergency department that is often crazy, hectic, and overwhelming. I'm guessing especially during the last year and a half. And I often find it difficult to step aside and take a breath. Any recommendations? She would love to share this with her coworkers.
Yeah. Okay, so what I would do when I started to be a keynote speaker 36 years ago, and I would be very, very stressed before a session, I would go to the bathroom, because everybody's allowed to go to the bathroom. Nobody has to know what you're gonna what you're gonna do there. But that's when I would sit and I would refocus and I would breathe and I would repeat to myself, okay, I am a very good keynote speaker. I'm a good keynote speaker. I'm a good keynote speaker. I'm good. I can do this. Yeah, I've done this before. So I know my work. I know my study. I know where I study. I know my stuff. Yeah, I'm good. I'm a good keynote speaker. So I started to repeat, and I would breathe in and I would breathe out. As I would breathe in, I would breathe, I can do this. I'm good at this. And I would breathe out, stress. Okay, I need to decompress. That person said that. I would just let go, let go, let go, let go. And I would train the mind. And then as I would walk back, and that's a main thing, as I would walk from the bathroom to the stage or behind the stage, as I would walk, I would repeat it, because we know now that in the neural pathways it gets created as the body moves. And if you repeat something as the body's moving, you're gonna learn, you're gonna retrain the mind very quickly. So walk out, sit, repeat. I'm good at this. I've done this for years now. I know my stuff. I'm trained to do that. I'm okay with stress. I'm okay with the fact that right now I'm stressed. I'm okay, because if you allow and you say I'm okay, it will go away. It's when you start fighting it. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be. Don't go there. You go like, I'm really stressed. That's not my preference, but I'm stressed. Go there and say, I'm okay with it. It's normal to be stressed. I have ways to de-stress. When I go home tonight, I'm going to ask myself, what would make me happy? There's light at the end of the tunnel. But if the mind doesn't know there's light at the end of the tunnel, that's a problem. It's really depressing. So it's about go, talk to yourself. I'm okay with that situation. I'm okay with stress. I let it go. Walk as you physically walk. Repeat, I'm good at what I do. I'm okay with it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Walk. Train back the brain. So you have to, you see, the best thing would be to go out and jog for 3 minutes. But, and with COVID, the government said to all of us, stay home. I'm going like, what? What do you mean stay home? No, that's, you need to talk to people about your stress. You need to connect with other human beings, especially women. We need to talk about it. We need to allow, to let go. So
Okay.
That's the best thing you can do.
Great. Well, we had a question about how to quickly de-stress in traffic, but I think that you covered a lot of those strategies. So we just have 2 minutes left. And I think, so healthy eating, sleep, exercise is all known to be a part of a, good overall health. But for many people living with brain injury, they're focusing on their rehabilitation or their recovery. So some of this can be very complicated, and how can they do these things in manageable ways? And just recognizing we only have a minute and a half left, how can they do some of these things in more manageable ways?
Well, I would think that the 1 minute meditation, I think that would be the best thing. And when they rehabilitate, if someone could train them to breathe properly, the breathing, you know, the oxygen in the brain. Because when you're stressed, you breathe like this. Oh, am I gonna be successful? And then you cannot access data. You're smart, but you're stupid because you know we can't. Doesn't matter if you have brain injury. Stress is just like. And I want you to stress this that well, I don't want to use that word, but when you do not sleep, sleep is the main key. You need to sleep. We're so deprived. If you do not sleep, do not stay in bed. Go and sit and do the 1 minute meditation. Do not stay in bed. Sit, have this candle, just do the 1 minute, do 2 minutes, do 3 minutes. The body will relax. Simple things, no pressure, progressive step, just getting up like in the morning. If you just get up, for some people, that's what being resilient is all about. So, and know that we need to trust science, we need to trust the future. And now we connected, right? You listen to this session, so we are at some ways connected. So this is my heart, from my heart to your heart. I send you lots of love. And I know what brain injury is. One of my boyfriend had major accidents, so I know what you guys are going through. I have a lot of understanding, I have so much compassion, but there's hope. Thank you, Michelle, for doing this. Thank you to the team. Thank you for all the participants. And we are now connected. Every time I sit and meditate, I am with you guys.
Thank you so much, Andrée. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Michelle.
Take care.